Have you ever heard the phrase, just do it, or ready is a lie? Just start today, don't wait till tomorrow, you only ever have the present. So those are all true statements, and I feel them very deeply. Just start today. But wait, I'm sure by now you've heard the sentiments and the statements of just do it and just start today. But the question is, we all have things that we want to be doing. I don't care if it's in your career, or it's in your personal life, or it's in your physical health, or in your spiritual well-being, your financial well-being. There's so many different things that we want to be doing in our life, and we know the answer is to just get up and start doing something. If you haven't heard already, the reality is that if you really want to get anywhere, you just need to start. I've spoken about this many times. Ready is a lie. There's so many people that have so much to give, and we're waiting for the right time, for the right place, for the right moment to start. But there is no better time than the present. You've been put here for a reason, and there's something that you can bring to the table that nobody else can. And maybe it's just in your personal life, whether it's your finances, or it's your emotions, or it's your spiritual well-being, or it's your relationships, or your physical health. Wherever it is, there's somewhere where you want to grow, where you want to expand. And like we know, if you're not growing, you're dying inside, right? The way that muscles work is that if we don't use them, they atrophy. And we feel great, we feel good, and we feel godly and powerful when we're doing something and we're making progress. So the major question is, why don't we just start? I know for myself, there are two reasons why it's hard to get something started. And when you can move past them, it's amazing the type of miracles and synchronicity that opens up for you in your life. The two reasons are this. Well, let me take that back. It's really one reason, and there's two aspects. The reason is fear, F-E-A-R. That's really the number one reason why we just don't get something started today. And when I say fear, I mean fear of two things. Either it's fear of failure, or it's fear of judgment. Fear of failure could be you're afraid to start something because maybe you won't be able to finish it. Maybe you won't be able to be consistent with it. Maybe you'll start it and you'll have some success, but then it won't have the success that you expect it to have, and therefore you've dubbed yourself a failure. So if you're concerned that you're not going to be able to get to where you want to get to, you're not even going to start. So that fear of failure keeps us from getting off the chair and going and doing something. I can tell you that when it came to making videos for YouTube, this was the very last thing that I thought that I'd be doing. And yet, as soon as I realized it was the right thing to do, I had to find a way to get past the fear of, well, what if the channel's not successful? What if people don't like the content that I'm sharing? What if people like the content, but it doesn't reach as many people as I want to reach? What if I fail? And as soon as you can address that failure and say, that's not the point. I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because I want to provide a service. I'm doing this because I think it's important. I'm doing this because it makes me happy. I'm doing this because I'm alive today, and maybe I should be doing something that's helpful and positive, if to no one else but myself. So that's number one, is to recognize the fear of failure has got to find its way out of the window. The moment you can drop the fear of failure is the moment you can start today. The second fear is fear of judgment. We're so afraid of what people are going to think about what we're doing. And a lot of that is just fear of how we're going to perceive how we're perceived by people thinking about what we're doing. It's really about self-judgment here. We're so afraid about how our parents, our kids, our siblings, our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, everyone that we meet, what are they going to think about us? Hey, right now I'm sitting in some coffee shop recording a video. What are all the passerbys going to think when they see a camera standing out and a guy sitting with a microphone talking to nobody, right? What are all my friends going to think who have seen me for the last decade and a half sit inside of a room with books, studying or meditating or praying, and now I have a YouTube channel, right? So in the beginning, for me, that was something, and it was a hurdle to get over, right? As soon as you can get over the hurdle of what people are going to think about you, your life is going to change. And things open up in such a beautiful way. It doesn't matter what people think about you. You're the only one that has to live in your body. You're the one that's going to be looking in the mirror in 10, 20 years, asking yourself, did I live the life I want to live, right? And if you say, well, I didn't, and it was because I was afraid of what my neighbors were going to think, you're going to feel awfully guilty to yourself. So my recommendation, and I can tell you it certainly works for me, is that drop the fear of failure, drop the fear of judgment, drop the fear completely, and start today. I don't care what it is, But put your foot down and say, I'm not going to wait another day, week, month, year, decade. I'm going to do something today towards something that I love. And you got it. You've got all the tools you need. You don't need to finish today. You don't need to be successful today. You're a success because you're trying. You're a success because you're you. Let me know in the comments below if this has been helpful, because that's really my mission statement. We can talk a lot of truth, but really what I want to do is be of service. And if this is helpful, then I'm happy. And if it's helpful, you're probably happy too. Wishing you a great day. Only love and blessings.